When we watch TV, what do we see? Flashy graphics, made-up people, highly edited video and audio? We see an end product, the result of days' worth of production work that has been done prior to you seeing anything. Have you ever wondered how that program that you're watching gets onto your TV? I work for the production department at WLEX-18 in Lexington, Kentucky, the horse capital of the world. Every year, our station broadcasts live from Churchill Downs to bring the Kentucky Derby experience to our viewers in Lexington. This is what it's like to be on the production crew.
Alright, so this is day one, Wednesday, April 29th. Getting ready to leave the house here in Lexington, go to the station, pack up some perishable food, load up the vans with our bags and such, and be heading off to Louisville to start setting up for the Kentucky Derby. But it should be fun. We going to Disneyland?
When the truck people get here, Sam will start getting the cables out and tagging them, right? Me, Chelsea, hold this out for you. Pam and Chrissy are doing, I think, yeah. We'll go to do the 4-4 first, which should be a piece of cake. And then we'll go do the first turn stuff.
You, Chrissy,
second turn stuff. Jake, Emily, and Jeremy will do audio. So you guys just do your thing. The rest of you guys will do the compound stuff.
First things first, we need to pull all the triacs, fiber optics, video mults, and DT12 audio snakes off of the Token Creek truck to get tested and tagged for our cable runs from the compound to the various camera positions around the track. Once we have all the cables laid out, we need to check the triax cables using a triax cable tester. When connected at both ends of the cable, it will test all three connections inside the cable to determine if there are any shorts.
You blinking?
Yep.
Cool.
Next, we need to tag all of our cables. We put tags on both the female and male ends. These tags tell other crews which cables are ours and tell us which input in the compound I/O and the job boxes around the track each cable needs to go into.
Back here.
How many DTs? You just need that one back here? 3?
The first cable run we need to do will be from the production truck to the TV compound I/O.
It should be labeled like TVJB either 01-07 or 01-06.
For our cable runs from the truck to the doghouse, we need to pull 5 500-foot triax cables, a 500-foot TAC-12 fiber, a 1,000-foot TAC-4 fiber cable, a 500-foot video mult cable, and 3 500-foot DT12 audio snakes. Here's a better look at what we are doing. We run all 11 video and audio cables from our production truck around the back end of the doghouse and feed them into a conduit on the side of the building. Once we have all the cables inside, we need to connect them to the correct input connectors. Getting these connections correct is crucial because they have to match up with the corresponding connectors in the job boxes at the camera positions. The video mult cable that we pulled has to go to the MBC I/O panel. We have given the MBC truck a list of cam sources that we would like from them. They will connect our video mult into the proper SDI outputs to give us the feeds that we asked for. While half of us are in the TV compound doing the main cable runs, there's another crew inside the track running the DT12 audio and triax cables for cameras 1 and 2. This crew begins their cable run from the job box inside the tunnel, to a platform on turn 1 where they will test the cameras and build the set for our shows. But for right now, it's time for Ben and I to test cameras 4, 5, and 6.
One of those tables, 2 chairs. We'll get a handheld camera and a little stinger. And you guys can take all that up to 4th floor, take a tarp.
Once we have all the gear that we need packed up, we need to head up to the 4th floor balcony where camera 4 and 5's platform is located. Now that we're at the 4th floor, we will need to plug the cameras into the job box and test the connection back at the truck. We need to plug the fiber optic cables into the connector on the 4th floor's job box that matches the connector that we plug the fiber into back at the doghouse. Now we need to run the fiber to the converter box that will convert the fiber cable to triax so that we can connect the cameras and test them.
I got a green light now on the camera. Okay, we got viewfinder.
The connection to camera 4 looks good, and they can see an image and hear the headset back at the truck.
Okay, let's plug into 5. And there's Quan.
Camera 5 is good too.
We're gonna leave this plugged in and go ahead and set up the chairs and table.
Now that we had a successful test for cameras 4 and 5, we need to head downstairs to the paddock area to test camera 6.
Come in when you're standing at the paddock.
We're there.
Okay, with your back to the grandstand, you see like a metal divider. Actually, see if they'll let you in the paddock and get inside the walking ring.
Get inside the paddock?
If they will let you.
All right. We gotta try and get in.
Since camera 6's position will be inside the paddock, where horses are being paraded, we need to get permission from the track officials to go inside.
Excuse me, sir. Is there any way we can get in there and test a camera shot? Or
Taste of what?
what's that?
With the horse sleeve? Or do you want to do it?
Whatever is most convenient for you.
Have you been in there before?
No.
Well, we've got all the screws and stuff. It's probably best when that happens.
When they're out of here. All right.
You might see a Token Creek triax jumper coming out of one of those boxes. And look for triax number 1.
All right, I'm gonna have to have HRTV move some stuff. Thanks, Quan.
Horses spook easily, so we have to be cautious with our movements while we're inside the paddock area. I wouldn't want to be the one that causes a horse to be struck from a race because I spooked it and it hurt itself.
Yeah, it's flashing again.
Okay, disconnect the test light.
All right.
Once they're disconnected, you can plug in the camera.
Yeah, hold on. Get on the headset real quick, Quan. It'll be Quan on heads. Okay, you see an image? Excellent.
Now you're hearing Churchill.
Now that all the cameras are tested successfully, we can head back to the TV compound to lock up all the gear and call it a day.
Well, you just pull it apart.
Oh, like that.
There's a chance of rain all day today, so we need to set up some tents to put gear under so it won't get wet. These tents will also help in the coming days as shade from the sun.
There are 2 video cables, for the monitors come off the back of the cameras. I've got an extension cord and a power strip. This is a build-up because Emily said she wanted to do a build-up kit
Right.
up there. We can't really drive over there. We don't have the second one yet, but we could always send it up later. I'd rather let's get the cameras up there. We could leave them sitting.
2 all this stuff right here.
Now we need to pack up all the gear again to take to the camera position so that we can test everything back at the truck once we have the switcher and audio boards set up. This includes tripods, build-up kits, program monitors, microphones, IFB boxes, and talkback boxes. Camera 4 will be a static cam. It will not move from its position on the platform, but Camera 5's tripod will be set up on wheels so that we can move around and have a variety of shots. We need to connect a program monitor to each camera so the talent can see what's happening on air. Next, we need to put a build-up kit on each one of the cameras. A build-up kit consists of an external viewfinder and controls for the zoom and focus on the camera. After we apply the build-up kits, we need to power up the cameras to make sure everything on the build-up kit is working properly. While we're finishing up the camera builds, the audio crew set up wireless transmitters and receivers for the wireless mic and IFB box that will be down in the paddock. Now that we had finished setting up the balcony set, the rest of the crew needed to set up camera 1, 2, and 3 set. While they were off doing that, I needed to head back to the production truck to start setting up the video switcher.
This is a switcher. This is how you direct.
Is it?
Boop.
NBC turn 2. And then we'll just have to, when we do the bus mapping, that's when we map where we want them to be on the board. Right now we're just setting up source names. So now FrameSync 18 is NBC turn 2.
And what, 19?
FrameSync 19.
We have 25 video sources going into FrameSyncs that we need to assign source names to in the video switcher. 19 cameras, 4 video playbacks, and 2 Chiron channels. If we didn't do this, we would have no idea which video source was in which FrameSync. After we've named all our video sources, we'll need to map the sources to where we want them located on the switcher. This bus mapping is what will make it possible to take our video sources to air.
Alright, so after cams, you want to do our 2 CGs there, and then video fill up there. Because I like to keep stuff grouped like we did last year.
Yeah. Let's change the colors. That's the most important thing about the switcher, is how it looks. Orange, yellow, blue, red, cyan.
Alright, now that we have the video sources mapped, we need to create our effects that we want to use and store them in the switcher. The only effect that we will use for this production are split boxes. We use these so that talent at one location can interact with talent at another location. While Chelsea and I were setting up the video switcher, Jeremy was in the audio booth going through the same process that we were, only with the audio sources.
Okay. Lip sync 1.
Now that the other camera positions and the boards in the truck are set up, we need to do a camera fax to the trailer.
Okay, have her check the talent monitors, make sure she's seeing the same thing she saw in the return on there.
We do this to test all of our equipment out in the field to make sure that everything that we set up earlier is working properly.
Alright, and this is Zoom, folks. We're good.
If there was a problem with anything, we would still have the remainder of the day and tomorrow morning to resolve it before we go on air. Everything that we set up checks out. Now we need to cover the set and break down the cameras to store in the production truck overnight. The last thing on our agenda today is to set up TVs in the corporate suite and tap into the Trax cable television so that our show can be seen live.
Just in time, Paul.
We need to take 2 stands and 2 TVs up 3 floors to hook up in our reserved rooms. The 2 rooms in the corporate suite are reserved for our account executives and their clients so that they can experience the Kentucky Derby and watch the show that they have advertised on.
All we do is run an RF split off of what's feeding that into this. Okay.
We are finished for today. Tomorrow is the running of the Kentucky Oaks. This will be our first time to go live from Churchill Downs.
Be sure to join us tomorrow for Kentucky Oaks Day. See you then. Drive home safe.
Day 3. Almost over.
Today will be the first day this week that we go on air, live from Churchill Downs for the running of the Kentucky Oaks. We will be doing live cut-ins during our regularly scheduled afternoon news broadcasts, which are being done from our station in Lexington. The first thing that we need to do today is gather up the equipment that we put away at the end of the day yesterday and set up our camera platforms.
Good job.
Thank you.
We're heading to the platform for cameras 1 and 2 this morning. This is where main talent and reporters will be for the shows. The camera position is right on the track where horses are doing their morning workouts, so we need to keep our noise and quick movements to a minimum. We'll need to set up cameras, program monitors, microphones, IFBs, and talkback boxes. Now I need to head back to the truck so that we can do a fax of the equipment back to the station to make sure that we're seeing everything properly in order to take us live.
He made the right decision.
Okay, guys, can we get through this fax, please?
You're doing great.
We are feeding our program output from the truck to a satellite uplink truck next door. The uplink truck shoots the signal to a satellite, which is then received at the station.
Okay, camera 1, please. Camera 2. 3, please. Camera 4. 5. 6. What's next? 8.
GoPro.
What's your next? GoPro.
For this fax, our main objective is to ensure that the station sees our video and hears our audio clearly. We also need to make sure that the video is synced with the audio by doing lip sync tests.
Need some audio. Who do we?
1, 2, 3, 4.
How's that lip sync? How does that lip sync look, Tony?
8, 9, 10.
Okay, we're good there. It's live mic. Have him go ahead.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Did I just hear you, Kevin?
8, 9, 10.
You getting us good video and audio in the booth?
I know there's nothing new with that.
Shortly after our fax to the station, the producers show up to go over the rundowns for this afternoon's shows.
Then we will come back to Kevin and Kristen on camera 1, and they will toss back to the studio and Josh.
Okay, so bump Keith Allen, go to 6 with Todd. Starts with Keith and Allen. And then Todd's going to talk about Oaks again. He's gonna
Once we have gone over our rundowns with the crew, it's time to begin the show.
The package.
We'll be the 21, but we'll be coming
Going to a split box next to Todd and Keller and Farmer.
To the dapper and the educated one. Our expert from DVG.
Splits up, stand by 6 with Todd. And
we are waiting for 14 3-year-old fillies to come over here to the paddock for the Kentucky Oaks. Earlier today, they had a display of the Garland that will be given out to the winning filly in here. Just so you want to know, 130.
All right, and Todd will toss back to camera 1 with Kevin and Kristen.
It's going to go to Stellar
If they go a little long, Kelsey's packing
they will toss
She's coming to California for trainer John Sadler. Comes in with a 3-race win streak in dominating fashion.
We are live in between news segments from 4 o'clock in the afternoon until 7:30. The directors rotate out hourly, but audio, video playback, cameras, and graphics are in their positions for 3.5 hours straight. Our Kentucky Oaks coverage is about half the amount of coverage that we will do on Derby Day. Today is just a warm-up for tomorrow. After the shows are done, it's back to the camera platforms to gather the gear.
All done?
We need to cover the set, break down all the cameras, and bag the audio equipment to take back to the truck to store overnight. Tomorrow is the running of the Kentucky Derby. We will go live at 6 o'clock in the morning. Today is Derby Day. This is the day that we've been working towards the entire week. We will be live from 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. At that point, our station will give control to NBC for their coverage of the running of the Kentucky Derby. This morning, before we start our show, we need to do some final control room tests.
Hey Billy, when you get a chance, can you call up one of those race opens, the CG2, and just play it out? There we go. All right.
While we're getting things finalized in the truck, the rest of our crew is out at the camera positions getting their cameras and audio equipment set up.
Are those T's graphics coming out of 1? And we'll go boom. You're putting in 2.
Yeah. But I mean, it's so.
There's so much. There's like no video, or like room for video. Ooh.
That's not too bad.
I think let's do that because it's the least noisy.
Now that we have the video and audio from the camera positions and have finished up some final creative decisions, it's time for us to mark our scripts and start the show.
No reopen.
Page number and this one.
I'll have a bump with music and Chris Haley's mics. It's 10 away. Stand by bump with music. We're up and cue you, Chris and Haley.
Before 9 o'clock, welcome back. Historic Churchill Downs.
Stand by camera 1.
Kentucky Derby.
One's up.
Haley live in
Fade out that music.
Our show is all about the Derby experience. Our goal is to bring the Kentucky Derby to the people at home so that it feels like you're there without having to be in Louisville.
Okay, they fit. 2, 1. Mike and Q, Chris and Haley.
Our sports department covers all the races leading up to the running of the Derby.
Mike and Payout. On the wire. Mike and Q, Todd.
Our reporters interview people that are at Churchill about their Derby experiences and cut packages about fashion, race picks, food, drinks, and celebrities that are at Churchill Downs. At 4 in the afternoon, our coverage stops so that we can give control to NBC for their coverage of the big race, which they have all the rights to. This makes for a much-needed break for all of us and gives us the opportunity to see the running of the Kentucky Derby for ourselves down at the track. Now that the race is over, we need to head back to the production truck and our camera positions quickly. After NBC is done with their coverage, we will take control back from them for a half-hour wrap-up show of our coverage and the big race. Once everybody is back where they need to be, it becomes a waiting game of when NBC will wrap up their live coverage so that we can take control.
Rossi. Stand by D.
All Derby with live exclusive coverage from Churchill Downs. This is WLEX-18 at the Derby.
And roll stretch. Coming to 1 next with Kevin and Nancy. Cue to Kevin and Nancy, and they're up.
Once again, I'm Kevin Christopher. We are back live.
This wrap-up show is a smaller production for us, so we won't need as many cameras for it. The cameras that we don't use are already packing up their gear to bring back to the truck.
Done with 2. You can go ahead and power it down.
I hope you and I are just bouncing off the walls for the Belmont.
Yeah, exactly. We're on the 3rd leg of the Triple Crown. Kyle, back to you.
Okay.
Then we'd be honored.
I guess that's it.
That's it. Good.
Thanks, guys. Good night, satellite. He's going to take us down. Good job, everybody.
Now that our coverage is over, the real work begins for us. It's time to do strike. Everything that goes up must come down. All of the setup that we have done over the past 3 days, the cable runs, the set builds, the microphones and cameras all have to be broken down and put back into the production truck. All television production has to be out of the TV compound by midnight. Breaking everything down is a lot faster than it was putting it up. We just need to unplug all of our cables from the I/O panels, pull them, coil them, and stow them away in the truck. Each one of these cables are about 100 to 150 pounds apiece, so it can be pretty back-breaking trying to get everything down in a 2-hour time frame.
Waiting for it to do this next cable.
Okay.
Stretching out.
You guys, anybody need a break? You want me to coil?
If you could, that'd be awesome.
Got it? Can you start it at least?
Oh, man, you're not letting Sam coil.
To make this process more efficient, we alternate between pullers and coilers. About 3 people will pull the cable to give slack to the coiler. Once the cable is done, a puller becomes a coiler and a coiler becomes a puller. Once everything is stowed away, the trucks that we have rented for the week need to get back onto the road for their next gig.
Track's dominated by us. We dominated this track. Crushed it.
Yeah.
Our time at Churchill Downs is over for this year. We'll get some sleep tonight and head back to Lexington in the morning. It has been a long week. Everyone on our production crew has done a lot of work and put a lot of time in to make this show possible, and that definitely came through on air. So, that's a wrap of our coverage of Kentucky Derby 141. We'll be back again next year for 142.